Yo.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Excellent.
Episode 40, man.
40.
We made it through 40 of these
Wow.
things.
Almost as
Big
old as
40.
you. Wait, what?
Almost, yeah. Yeah. I believe you're older, sir. We can have this conversation if you'd like. Okay.
Fake news.
Oh, man. So welcome to the New Meta episode 40. My name is ThaPChild.
Yeah. I'm Lord Fluffy.
Interesting week. Got some little bit of Diablo stuff to talk about.
Mhm.
We really dug more into that earnings call from
Yeah,
last week and
sure.
picked out some of the key things on that. So
It's a weird
it'll be
call.
cool to touch up on that.
Yeah.
But let's start off with the poll, man. Last week we had a poll.
Yeah, last week
Let's
we
show
asked,
that bad boy.
Diablo 4 is a fully fledged, ARPG. It gets released, and within that it has a BR game type. Like there's adventure mode, campaign, whatever, like a game type,
Mm-hmm.
Would you play it? And so the options were hell yes or no, keep it out of Diablo. Well, just before we look at it, what are you saying? What are you thinking?
That's double fold. Hell no, keep it out of Diablo is the way I feel. Would I play it? Absolutely.
Okay.
So I would try it, and it could be amazing. But
Yeah.
my initial reaction is, I'm done with the BR.
Why do people say that? I don't get, I hear that so much, especially with me playing a lot more Apex on stream lately. People are just like, I'm so tired of BR. I'm like, how?
So, okay, so I'm not going to say I'm tired of BR,
Sure.
but I don't want it to overwhelm the market. I still want other genres to flourish, and I feel like everything is like focused on BR.
Sure.
It seems like most of the new things are like, let's put an example,
Okay.
prime example, Tetris 99. Have you played it? Do you know what it is?
No, I do not.
Okay. So Nintendo Switch last week, I think, or maybe a week and a half ago, out of nowhere, just dropped Tetris 99. And
Okay.
it is a 99 player BR Tetris game mode, and it's fun as hell. It is amazing. But it's another BR. It just stole the BR concepts.
Oh, is it a BR or is it a bracket? I don't really understand.
It's a BR. It drops 99 people in, and you play, and you can touch your screen or use your right stick. Most people don't even know this. You can specifically target all the players. It puts all 99 people on the screen, on the side, on like little squares. And it real time shows how their Tetris tile looks. And you can target them. And when you get blocks, disappear blocks, it throws them at the other people. And the better you do, the more it levels you up and the more you send over to the other person. Like is it so
queue
deep,
or is
man.
it team?
Solo queue. Yep.
Damn.
99. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm a huge Tetris fan.
Yeah.
But I have a great time playing it. I mean, I've only played it like 3 or 4 hours, but it's been a fun 3 or 4 hours.
Damn.
But it's a BR game, and it's interesting, and I'm glad they made it. But at
Yeah.
the same time, it's like on Switch, I would have loved like a Tetris Effects or one of the new Tetris games that come out too. So.
But it's fun. You just said that it's fun.
It's free, by the way. It is free. It's fun. It's free and fun. So again, free to win.
So I guess I don't understand because you're like, I don't want more BR, but at the same time, like, oh my god, this new Tetris game is so fun. It's a BR.
It is. I think I'm scared. I guess I'm scared it's going to dominate the market. I'm afraid that everything is going to be BR. You're going to have BR Diablo, BR WoW, BR Destiny, BR Division, Apex, Fortnite.
Sure. Diablo. I'm going to say hell fucking yeah. Because, one, I do like BRs if they're done well. I mean, I'm not saying I like all BRs. There's a lot to Fortnite I really, really don't like. I'm really enjoying Apex. I did like Blackout when it first came out. PUBG and that other thing, no thank you, H1. But
H1.
anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say heck yes. Voting, and the results are keep it out of Diablo, 76%. Wow.
Wow. Is it possible to show that?
Oh, yeah, it is. No,
Let's take a look at it.
No, it's none of your business. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah. Wow.
Pictures.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
People
man.
don't like. There it goes to show you. This is why I get no viewers when I play Apex Legends. Right there. Diablo players do not like BRs.
I think, yeah, I don't know, man. And you make a good point when you're like, why? And it's hard to put an answer to that. I guess I think I'm scared that everything is gonna be VR, and it's like a fad. You know, it's like I think it's I don't know, man.
I just like if there's another game type to Diablo, like why not? You know, like it's
I
just
think
more fun.
survival mode would work so well in Diablo,
Sure.
and I've talked about this before, but you know, take a group of people, and you could even add a BR element to that where you can
Sure.
fight each other.
Right.
But a survival mode for Diablo just sounds amazing. Drop people in naked. You could even use, remember the old Greater Rift
Yeah.
leveling up area? I think it's the Diablo second phase fighting arena. Throw people down in there naked, and then every wave loot drops, and you have to make the best sets and builds you can with the loot you get. You still got limited inventory space. After the timer ends out, all the rest of the loot you don't have in your inventory disappears. I don't know, man. You can make some cool things with it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'd be down to try a BR. I mean, I don't know if it would be fun and be my thing. If they did it well, I'm sure it would be amazing.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. And someone in chat said too many botters would ruin it. But no, it wouldn't. A BR is like you drop. Everyone's like naked. Everyone's on even playing field. You're not going to drop with like your 6K Paragon already. Like
Yeah,
that'd
right.
be ridiculous. So
Oh my god.
that's why I think that's one of the reasons like BRs are kind of great in that
It'd be
aspect. 'Cause-
aimbot.
Yeah, sure. There's
Aimbot Diablo.
aimbots, but
Yeah.
like you can't grind it. You could grind it for like levels, like, but like that's not gonna do any good. It gets more cosmetics and stuff like that. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm all for more game types because it's gonna bring a bigger audience, and a bigger audience means more people. You know, LFG and you know more people
Yeah,
bringing money.
I think you're right, man. I think you're convincing me. You're just making me switch sides. So if you have more game modes, more play styles, it doesn't mean you have to play it. If you
Right.
like PvE, then stay out of it.
Yeah.
And if you like PvP, then go do
Sure.
your thing. I'm with you on that.
Sure. It's like the new Call of Duty. Like I had zombies, I had BR, and I had normal multiplayer. Like I'm never gonna play fucking zombies, but it's cool if
Did you ever go back to it?
No,
after that
I
initial?
think I played it one time, and it was like a 45-minute game. And I was just like, I can't do this. I think actually no, it was like 3-hour game. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's why I kind of like don't really know if I like that survival idea either, because you don't want to like invest like 3 hours in one game. I don't know.
What do you think your longest Apex or Fortnite matches have gone? Like what is there a finite time? Because I guess the ring shrinks and shrinks and shrinks.
I don't know what that.
So how
finite
long
time
does it
is.
take to fully?
I would say
like 30
20 to
minutes,
30
probably?
minutes, yeah,
Yeah.
probably 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah, there would have to be some, and the developers could control that, right? I mean, depending on how the survival mode scales, they could make it to where, okay, 30, 40 minutes in, you're struggling. You know, most people are struggling.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm with you. It'd be something to do every now and then, and to brag, hey, I
Sure.
just got
Yeah.
a wave 40 in survival.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Or you just grinded rifts all night. Like, man, I want to do something else, but I really like Diablo. Let's go try something else.
Yep. Let's go do something else.
Anyways.
So next week,
Yeah. The next week, the poll. I get this topic a lot. I'm sure you do too. How large should a group size be in Diablo 4? And the options are 3 players.
I have strong opinions on this.
Yes, 4 players, 5 players, 6 players, and 8 players. I didn't really go over that because over that would kind of be like what I would consider like a raid if there would be a Diablo.
Yeah.
So that's not really the same.
I think 8 and 6 is getting up there too, but I have strong. I can't wait to talk about this one next week.
Sure.
So
Sure. But yeah, let's post that in the chat real quick. You guys can vote.
So check the comments below if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're on iTunes or Google Play, then you'll come to. We should throw that in the new meta section. Join one of our Discords, and we'll have it up there, so you can take that poll. But yeah, so let's jump into this Activision call because this is man, it's so. If you take time to listen to this thing,
it's ridiculous. It's there's some parts you're like okay, and then sometimes you're like what? It's a whole roller coaster of emotion, at least for me. So we're gonna start with 1413, where basically they say the following, and let me know if you can't hear this.
Specifically, as we reallocate resources and hire new talent, we are planning for the number of developers working on Call of Duty, Candy, Overwatch, Warcraft, Hearthstone, and Diablo to increase in aggregate by approximately 20% over the course of the coming year.
So they're saying basically Diablo now with 20% more dev effort, which is sounds good.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it, but I've listened to it before. I remember that line.
Yeah.
That's amazing, right?
Sure.
I mean,
sounds great. But, it keeps going. We'll skip ahead to 1620. Okay.
Diablo's development headcount will grow substantially as the teams work on several projects underway for the franchise, as well as the global launch of Diablo Immortal.
So again, he's saying there's several projects, multiple projects on the horizon for Diablo. We're hearing this again and again and again. Really wish we knew what it was. And then, of course, he goes on. He says, but the good thing here, this distinguishment here, is he says multiple unannounced Diablo projects and Diablo Immortal. So we're not including, we know for sure we're not including Diablo Immortal in that multiple projects.
Multiple. So you think there's more multiple? So we got the Netflix show still hanging out there.
Do you really think that they would include a non-game in multiple projects?
Do you think Activision makes money off that? They own the IP.
But I wouldn't consider that would be like a Blizzard I don't know. I would hope
I don't know
they
either.
wouldn't count that.
Okay, so let's not count that.
Yeah.
And we got Immortal. He
Yep.
specifically named Immortal and multiple projects, so
Yes.
we're going to nix that. So what else do we have? Diablo 4.
Yeah. Diablo 2 remaster, maybe, still.
Ah, man. I can't imagine.
And of course, Diablo 3
if they've
expansion.
been working on Diablo, if they've been working on a Diablo 2 remaster and they didn't drop that on BlizzCon, they just left us with Immortal.
Well, because that would lessen the hype. Don't you think that would lessen the hype for WoW? Or not WoW, sorry, but Warcraft remastered?
I don't know. I mean, good God. They saw what happened. Like, you had to have known.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
think
we
we're
know
gonna
they
get
should
Diablo
have
2 remaster.
announced something else, but yeah, I don't know
Yeah, I
either.
don't think so.
I think it would be very welcome. I think that
5 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, so the multiple projects were...
what exactly?
What? Yeah.
A coloring book.
A coloring book, a Netflix show, a comic series.
And maybe a phone case. Let's just jump ahead real quick.
My God. This is legit, guys. This is real. Somebody linked this to me on Discord, and I didn't think it was even I thought it was a meme, and I was like, oh, that's a funny meme. And they're like, I wish it was a meme. And I'm like, what, it's serious? So I went to the store and checked for myself, and yes.
There it is.
Diablo Immortal iPhone 10 case.
Wow,
right there.
wow. $20.
So buy your copy today, guys. Get one. Your Immortal swag.
Wow. I think, I mean, it would suck because we'd be supporting it. But at the same time, if like everyone went to BlizzCon next year and they just held up their Diablo Immortal phone case.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, don't do that.
It's actually kind of cool looking, to be honest with you. Like, it's a cool Diablo
the Diablo
case.
Immortal icon and the Diablo Immortal Diablo, like that looks dope. Like we already, like,
It's cool artwork.
Yeah, no doubt. I already made
sure.
like a Lord Fluffy version of it. I mean, I love it. It looks beautiful, right? Boom. Love it. Yeah, it looks dope. I think that's
funny.
the best part of Diablo Immortal currently is the art. And they definitely want like a more evil Diablo, which I like. But yeah.
All right. So let's go back
to the
into
call.
this.
1755. He says something about returning to the roots.
In short, we are refocusing the entire company to return to the franchise focus that has fueled our long-term success and to better leverage the scale of our business for future growth.
He says like they're returning to their roots to like pump out more content for their like root IPs. But then they keep going on to continue to talk about like more and more mobile, mobile this, mobile that, China market. That's like they're obviously super contradicting themselves by saying we're going to return to our roots, but then they keep pushing this mobile thing constantly.
WoW mobile, Diablo Immortal mobile,
and
COD mobile.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get from this call that they're not going to do that. Like every IP is going to get some kind of mobile push, some kind of mobile something, which sounds terrible. But it keeps going.
Maybe the market's that good.
I mean, it's got to be, right? I would hope. But 2013, we get kind of what we knew would happen last week, but just, it's more impactful to hear it from, like, the mouth of the beast itself, other than us just talking about it. So, but this is where they're like, basically, nothing's coming this year.
Turning to Blizzard, we expect materially lower financial performance this year. 2018 benefited from the release of World of Warcraft, Battle for Azeroth, whereas we are not planning a major frontline release for Blizzard in 2019.
He basically says straight out, we're not planning anything for 2019.
No releases, and we're not going to make money.
Right. So he's basically preparing the shareholders to, like, that line to keep going.
Yeah, there's no WoW expansion. Mm-hmm. There's no Overwatch 2.
I'm sure there's going to be something.
I mean, no COD. Didn't they say something about COD?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So I'm surprised they actually did say that, because they're like, we got. Oh, I guess they're saying Blizzard has nothing. Blizzard has nothing coming. So COD is definitely not Blizzard.
Okay.
But yeah, in 2035, I hear this a lot, especially as a developer. We'll just play it real quick.
A high teens year-over-year decline. Again, the Blizzard segment drives the majority of this change. Activision segment operating income is also expected to be lower due to the following factors. First, we are planning to invest more in Call of Duty this year.
Put the wrong one. Yeah, sorry. 2035. Hang on.
Looking further ahead, Blizzard's pipeline of PC, console, and mobile content is richer than ever, and we expect a significant addition of development resources to accelerate the pace of delivery over time.
So basically they're saying they are fully expecting, basically adding this 20% more dev effort to, like, just drive content creation for all of their IPs, which I'm sure you're in, this field as well. That's not always like that is not the case. Not usually. Like, so yeah, I've seen this a lot in my career where they're like, well, we'll bring on, like, what do you guys need to, like, get this out sooner? I'm like, well, obviously more developers would help, but there's always this, like, disconnect.
You can't just throw people at the problem. You can't throw money at it. Yeah.
There's like we'll just get more devs.
People do that with automobiles.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, they expect people day one to be like, okay, a programmer's going to come in and be able to, like, just be like, okay, what do you need me to do? Blah, 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 blah. Like, like, that's just not how it works. Like, you learn how people do it.
Your production is actually going to go down because your guys are going to be training people. Like, here's the systems.
Yeah.
This is what you got to do. This is, so unless they got so many low level things that they can put people on, like, okay, I don't need to make trees and grass. You do that, and it's easy. This is how you do it. Right. So here you go. Have fun.
So hopefully they're anticipating that, like a 3-6 month dip in productivity to it get an eventual jump. But
that's cool. I mean, it seems that they're addressing the issue. They're acknowledging the problem that we're not putting out enough content. We're not keeping up. And maybe some of this pressure is from developers like Fortnite, as much as, I'm tired of talking about Fortnite, but Fortnite puts out content patches all the time. And they're constantly like, here, PoE is putting out stuff all the time. Speaking of which, we'll hit that up in a little bit. But it's just like when people can drop an expansion every 2 or 3 months and they're like, oh, by the way, it drops tomorrow or it drops next week. It's kind of crazy. Right. And then Blizzard's like, oh, when was your last expansion for WoW? Oh, okay, that was 8 months ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Or 9 months ago.
Sure.
And Diablo was a year and a half. Okay, I got you.
Right.
So.
Right. But yeah, going on to kind of touch on the COD thing, is they kind of drop a little bit of, I don't know, this isn't necessarily, our demographic, but it is interesting. So 3323 talks about.
Even further ahead to what Dennis mentioned, it's worth mentioning again, this fall's launch, I think, is going to resonate very powerfully with our community.
He says this fall's launch of Call of Duty, he feels, is going to resonate really powerfully with the community. And he goes on to say,
it's an amazing game. It's going to feature an entirely new campaign, a huge and expansive multiplayer world, and of course some fun co-op gameplay. But from day
but yeah, he goes on to say, like, it's going to feature a campaign, a multiplayer, a big open multiplayer world or something like that. So just off those words, I would think that the next COD, which I think is Infinity War, because they do cycles, it's just going to be like a traditional COD with no BR. based on what he says there.
So is this going to be? You think this is an expansion or add-on to Call of Duty 4? This is a whole
another
standalone
COD.
game.
Yeah, they do one every year.
Fuck.
Right? So they're saying this fall's release is going to be another COD, and it's going to be from Infinity Ward, and it's probably not going to have the VR.
Yeah. I'm
assume.
not in COD that much. Like I'm not in that world, but that's kind of crazy that they can pump out a new game every year.
Right.
You know.
But what's really weird is throughout the call, they emphasize so many times that there's so much, quote, internal excitement around this new Call of Duty game. And they're like, oh, I've never seen so much excitement, for a Call of Duty game internally, like ever within the company. Like this new Call of Duty game, it's really, I mean, of course they say exciting like every 2 seconds, but
it's got to be hype because they have nothing else to fall back on. It's like, what are they going to tell their shareholders? We have nothing for you in 2019.
Well, I would love them to be like, we're talking a lot internally about this new Call of Duty game, and everyone, the impression from everyone seems to be like, it's okay. Like they're obviously not going to say that.
It's like those. Oh my God, who makes those commercials, man? Are they State Farm? I think they're like insurance commercials. And they have this guy, and it's like, it's okay. Okay. Oh man, there's the whole series. Yeah. Like, how's the food here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay.
It'd be so funny. It's just like, internally, like we're like, oh, it's kind of as good as Call of Duty 3, but not quite. I would love
It's that. Like, it's not as good as Apex Legends, but,
Sure.
It'll work.
But yeah, and then 34, 35, I have written down. I actually didn't write down why, but I'm sure it's.
Thanks for taking my question. One for probably Jay.
Speaking of which,
what's that?
To interject off topic real quick. Windows just popped up and it's like, we have an update. Would you like to restart now?
Yeah.
Restarting in 2 minutes. And I'm like, no, fuck off. But
perfect.
It reminds me, I've had 3 different people this week tell me that Windows restarted in the middle of a hardcore Diablo session and got them killed. 3 different people have it just restarted in the middle of my session.
Nice. Goddamn.
And I'm just going to throw that out there, man. I'm
Set
sorry,
manual
guys.
updates. Fuck automatic, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So.
Jay, what is the new management team doing to make sure that Blizzard is back on track to executing as one of the top studios as it should be?
This guy comes straight out and says, what is Blizzard doing to ensure, what is the new leadership team doing to ensure that Blizzard is back on top, basically? As it should be. He adds insult to injury and he says, back on top, like as it should be,
You're right.
Thanks.
And so then Jay Wilson, I think, comes on.
Yeah, thanks for the question. I think one of the things that I feel like it's important for us.
And he said, I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit, 35-18.
Have a huge amount of opportunity. We have fantastic IPs. We have lots of games that we want to create, and we have a very passionate community that is hungry for all of the things that we can kind of produce.
So they say that, basically there's a very passionate community, and they want to pump out content for their IPs. And then he even says, new games, which I don't know. I don't know. Do you think Blizzard's working on anything new this day and age?
I don't know, man. I mean, not with the way shit's been going down. Like they'd have to leak something. Jason Schreier, Kotaku, somebody's gonna be like, all right, this is what's going on. They got, I think as a PR move, they would leak to some news outlet and be like, yo, the reason Blizzard didn't have anything at BlizzCon is because they're working on this new game.
Sure. Something.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they're going to double down on World of Warcraft content. Although my thing with WoW, I think WoW has peaked and they're never going to achieve what the previous expansion did. Like, new players aren't coming to WoW.
Yeah.
People don't, the WoW's been out for so long. An 18 to 24-year-old kid now. WoW's been out for what, 14 years?
Right.
They were like 3 or 4 years old when the game came out. Those guys aren't growing up and saying, I want to go play World of Warcraft. They're saying, I want to play Fortnite. I want to play Apex Legends. I want to play, these new free-to-play. Like, they're the guys that are setting this new free-to-play scheme. And I don't think WoW's going to bring in new people. It like sure, all the people that played it like me, I'm gonna go buy the new expansion and I'm gonna play it. Even if I don't have a sub right now, I'm gonna resub, buy it, go play, cool. But I don't see them setting sales records with WoW. I don't see how that IP can support the company forever.
Sure.
Diablo?
I'm gonna jump ahead just a little bit because like this MMO talk, it's sparking things. I think. What do you think? So obviously, MMOs. It feels like they're kind of dying out because like WoW is it kind of on that front.
Yeah.
There's really nothing that can really compete with World of Warcraft, and I think that a big portion of why, WoW is dying is because like why not just come out with a WoW 2? Because like people look at World of Warcraft. And from a completely outside perspective, it's like, okay, wow, that game's still going. Like, why would I jump back in that? Like, I'm never gonna be able to catch up. And like, if you're completely disconnected from that world, you don't know that. Okay, basically every expansion, like everyone's kind of reset. But like, it's overwhelming. I feel like, and if you had like a fresh World of Warcraft, I think that's the opportunity to maybe reinvigorate.
But
the market.
I don't think the MMO market can sustain itself in the way that we know it. I don't think it's like TV shows hit a peak and then they decline and they get canceled. And I think video game like trends are the same. You can think of it like a TV show. Seinfeld had its run. Friends had its run. More currently like, 30 Rock or Office, for example. Those shows have their peak. They hit their peak. And then the audience is like, oh, that's really funny. This is really awesome. And then it's kind of like, okay, I've seen this style of comedy or I've seen this style of action so many times. I need something new. And then that new thing comes and they latch onto that. And I think MMOs was kind of that thing. MMOs came at a time when people first really started playing games together online. It was like this thing where like, oh, fuck, the internet, I can play with like 40 people in real time. I've never heard of that. And like, oh, we can get in Ventrilo and talk to each other in voice chat. That's insane. And now it's like we have FaceTime in our pockets 24/7.
Right.
So like those connections aren't as surreal as they used to be. And and then I think we kind of learned that, being in a voice chat with 40 other people kind of sucks.
Right.
It's not that cool. So let's take it back down to 8 or to 10 and make it more manageable. I don't think MMOs in their current state are ever going to make it. I don't think it can.
I so like I'm on the fence because I feel like the core of me is like, I feel like, MMOs are kind of dying out. That style of play, it's like too much for people to just jump into casually. It's just not going to take off. But at the same time, I remember games like, and I don't know, was it Bless? Whatever that latest MMO that came out and just failed miserably. But day one,
it was Bless.
Was it Bless? Like that, I don't remember. But like I felt like that was our clear indication that no, it's definitely not dead, because you looked at like the first 24, 40 hours of that game, it fucking blew up. Like I felt like the community was so thirsty for a new take on an MMO that like, anything that comes out is everything that looked promising.
Black Desert does okay, I believe, and it's a MMO style. And I played Black Desert. It was okay. I didn't dislike it. It wasn't enough to make me like really want to be like, oh, this is my game. But I could turn it on right now and play and have a good time. It was cool.
But Black Desert, when it came out, it was like pretty much trash, and they've done a lot since. But this, that's also like 5 years ago. Like that's so I don't know. I tend to like think that it's dead, but at the same time, I still feel like there's a huge market for it. Just everyone, if you really like MMOs, you play WoW. Like it's kind of like what we are. Like we like ARPGs, and all we can play is PoE and Diablo 2 or Diablo 3. Yeah. So it's like the same thing.
Yeah, I think MMOs will evolve. I think they'll still be a thing, but they'll evolve to something else. Just like we have like Lost Ark. I think, would you say, and you played it, I didn't play it. Do you think Lost Ark has a little bit more MMO-ish qualities than, say, PoE and Diablo, or is it kind of the same?
No, for sure.
So I think like hybrid games like that that's a new genre, so to say, that can suck up both worlds,
And I mean, Destiny is kind of an MMO too, in its own right.
It's close.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously it's a shift, and people still want that. I just, yeah.
But
I
think
don't know.
about the last game that you played that people were actually like, "Oh, this game is amazing. It's complete." People complain about Destiny. People complain about Anthem, and I mean every game
Sure.
that's coming out, Division, it's coming up down the pike. Everybody, like, you can go look at YouTube reviews, and they're like, "Oh, this game failed. This game failed," and it hasn't
Right.
even launched yet.
Right.
And it's like, this game sucks. Don't play it. Don't buy it.
But then you get a diamond in the rough like Apex. I mean,
Man, it's
people are like, I haven't really seen anything negative about Apex.
I haven't seen too much. I mean, I've had a couple people tell me they didn't like it, but they didn't really trash talk it. They're just
Sure.
like, "Oh, it's not for me," you know.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, anyways, I saw this post on Reddit. This guy's like, I want a Diablo MMO, and he like, you know, he's super into MMO, so he breaks down like, oh, Necros should do this and blah 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 blah. But it ended up getting like 140 upvotes, and people were like, oh, no, it would work, or some people would be like, yeah, I would love it. So it just got
I'm
me
an
thinking.
MMO fan. I love grindy games.
Yeah.
If you think about the games that I love to play, I love Diablo, World of Warcraft, Destiny, and Division. Those are my 4 favorites right now. Every single one of those games is a grinder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, grind. So I'd be down for a Diablo MMO. And
Right.
I know a lot of people freak out when you say that, but
Sure.
I would love it. I think
Yeah.
it would be awesome.
I don't think it has to defer too much from what we already know about Diablo to even be in the MMO realm. I mean, I think those two
Open
genres,
world.
right? I think those genres
Yeah.
mix very easily together. And I think the good thing about having like a Diablo MMO where it's a top-down isometric, you know, you get 6 to 8 skills maximum kind of thing. Hopefully they're more interactive the next iteration, like, you know, they can do stuff and they interact and have effects and stuff like that. But like ultimately it's inherently more casual than like, you know, having 4 bars on an MMO. It's just way less overwhelming, and like anyone can get into it. So I think that
Yeah.
it is the future to kind of dumb down, and they do that with WoW. Like every expansion, I'm sure you've noticed, like they dumb it down like a little bit more. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I think that's what they have to do, and a lot of hardcores don't like that. But
Yeah, you have to be able to make it appealing for new
Right.
players to come in. You can't scare away your new players because
Right.
that's kind of your life over the course of the game. I think Diablo MMO could work, and like you said, it could be an isometric MMO. It could have that top-down view. All you got to do is just put it in a open world to where other people are going to run around and find you.
Right.
Don't make it so instanced. And then have people running around. Throw in a
Sure.
couple raids. Throw in some dungeons where you're, you know, throwing some matchmaking. Call it a day. You know, it could work, man.
Yeah,
could definitely
for
work.
sure.
So
but yeah, to return to the call, where was I? This was, I don't know, man. This like rubbed me wrong, and you can tell me what you think. I'm gonna play a clip and I'm gonna explain what he said. Can you hear it, by the way?
Okay.
Or no?
no, I
Okay,
can't.
okay, just checking.
This was a very, very difficult decision. You know, I'd say it's a top 5 career difficult kind of moment for me personally.
So he's talking about the massive layoffs that Blizzard just did, and he's like, "Oh, this is a really tough decision. This was like, to quote, top 5, one of the most difficult decisions I've ever had to make in my career." What if your wife came up to you and she's like, "Hey, I gotta let you know, like, this is the top 5 hardest thing I've ever had to do. I want a divorce." Like, what do you mean top 5? Like, what? Like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous to take something
So
like
what
that.
are the other 4?
Yeah.
What are the other 4? You know, like,
It's
do I
just-
buy the Lambo or the island? I don't know. You know,
It's just like you take
Private
something
jet.
that was so devastating for so many people, and you kind of make it about yourself. Like, ooh, it was the top 5 hardest thing I've ever had to do. It's like, no one cares how hard it was for you. You still have a fucking job. Like, it's just, it's ridiculous, man. Stuff like that. I just like, do people think about how that comes off? Especially as like a
I don't.
chief officer.
So,
of a
man,
company.
I don't know, man. I think, and I don't know these people
Sure.
personally, but it seems like once you get to a certain level, the world just revolves around you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Surrounded by
oh,
yes
it's so
men.
hard. Woe is me. I have to fire these people. Oh my gosh. Feel sorry for me.
Right.
You know, but I think a lot of things are like that, man. Like social media, it just seems like everybody's like, look what I'm eating, look what I'm wearing, look at how bad my day is, and then the next post is like, oh, look how awesome my cat is,
Right.
and everything's about you and yours. And
Right.
do you really care about seeing those things? I mean, I don't want to come off as a jerk,
Sure.
but it's like, like I don't care about your cat, dude.
Right.
Like, it's cool, but
Sure.
I don't like cats that much. I have one.
But yeah. And then it gets like, this is where it gets really weird. Okay. It's around 37:47. The company basically gets asked what you talked about last week, where they're like, hey, one of your major competitors just came out with a free to play and it's crushing it. It is literally crushing it. Like, do you guys take that into consideration, or like, what's your plan?
Mm-hmm.
And to which they reply, 2 points. Like he's like, "There's 1 or 2 points here, right?" And neither of them make any sense. And I'll just play it.
Thank you very much. I guess my question is, given one of your competitors' decision to launch a free-to-play battle royale game, are you rethinking the monetization model for any of your own games, maybe including Overwatch?
Sure. This is Cody. Thanks for the question. I guess maybe a couple key points. First, stepping back, one of the things that sometimes gets lost in the discussion around economic models is the player and game experience itself.
So he first comes out and says one of the things that gets lost is the player and game experience itself, and like the model of payment. Like, I don't know if that makes any fucking sense to you. But
How do those relate at all? Like,
but
player experience on Apex Legends, from what I'm to hear, is amazing.
Really fucking good. And when we're talking about Fortnite as well, like, what do you mean? So, and then it gets worse. Like, he keeps going with it.
Our North Star is to deliver compelling and engaging gameplay. Full stop.
Our North Star is to come out with like compelling, engaging gameplay. Full stop. Is what he goes on to say, which I guess is different from what these other companies are doing with these other models. I don't really know where he's going with this, but it doesn't even stop.
Without that, there are no economics.
And then he says, without that, there are no economics. And that's his first point. Did that make any fucking sense to you whatsoever?
It seems so. I remember listening to this live because
Yeah.
I was listening to some of this live when they did it, and I remember thinking that his answer was no. Like, he tried to not say no, but he's like, no, we don't want to do free to play because we need to make money. It's kind of like what it sounded like,
but he just like
we're happy with our choices is kind of like what he said, and I'm just like, okay,
and that's
but
fine.
they're
Like, if you want
crushing
to come
it.
out and say like, and he does go on to say later on, he's like, well, I feel like our IPs, like, people are gonna pay up front for it. Basically, it was what he says in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our IPs are so good, we can make money post launch and we can make money selling them, and which is really unfortunate because that's like money grubbing. But like, his counter argument here is just it's absurd. And then he goes, that's point one. So point one, 0 cents. Point two, he goes on.
The second point is that the economic model has to work with the franchise and the community and the gameplay. They need to work to reinforce each other.
And he says the gameplay and the model have to reinforce each other. And that's like his counter argument to what she's saying. Like, but looking at the success of Fortnite and the brand new success of unbelievable success of Apex, like, how can he like, you got to make sure that they work together? Well, what do you mean?
That doesn't even make sense, because you could just use Diablo 3 as an example right here.
Yeah.
Like, you could give right now, today, give Diablo 3 away for free. Put a cash shop in there where you sell stash space, you sell character slots, you sell cosmetics, wings, things that are already in the game.
Yeah.
And I guarantee they would make more money than what they do right now, selling it for $40 a pop. 100%. They would make more money.
So
I don't understand the reluctancy to even explore that option. Maybe there's some kind of, I don't know, man. I honestly don't. I mean, it's hard for me to say guarantee they'd make more money, but I strongly feel that way.
Sure. And we're not even like, we're saying that basically. So obviously Diablo 3 is pay to play. And I think everyone that's probably, I mean, I'm not going to say they're not going to sell any more copies ever, but I'm sure that that's a very downward slope line of how many copies they sell. And so if you add another pay model, like, and you make Diablo 3 free to play, like, there's just absolutely no way that line's not going to shoot right back up. Like, obviously not to, like, initial release numbers, not even more close, but you're going to make money. That's the point, is you're going to actually
You're going to have
money.
so many new people trying the game.
Right.
See, that's the thing to me, is it feels like free-to-play games have to be good. Have a free-to-play game that's crap and expect to make money on it. So, like, Apex Legends came out, and they're like, we can give this away for free because we know it's so good.
Right.
People are going to spend money to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
The same with Fortnite. And Diablo 3 is in a spot where they would have to limit the free-to-play accounts, I think, to make some money. Like, give them limited character slots, give them limited stash space, give them, basic crappy transmogs and things. Like, they'd have to adjust the game a little bit, but I think they could in order to make money. And I think they would. A lot of people would try it out and be like, you know what, this is a great RPG. I want those cosmic wings.
Sure.
I'm going to pay $20 for cosmic wings. Oh, you know what? I want 13 stash tabs. Let me go ahead and shell out $20 or $30.
Sure.
And the game costs $40 now. So how many microtransactions do you have to even equal the retail value of the game?
Mm-hmm.
If you sold wings for, let's say $10 a pop, $15. I think you could do that because that seems to be a going rate on most other games.
Sure.
$15 for a set of wings, $15 for extra stash tabs, for full stash tabs. You've paid for the price of the game right there in 2 transactions.
Yeah.
Here's
the other thing. So they either do this model where they come out the cash shop, which already exists in the game, by the way, guys, in China, and just release that to NA and start, selling and making it free to play. Or I've got another economic model I think everyone's going to like. Okay. Ban the botters more frequently, and then all those people will buy accounts again. And boom, we're making money again, Diablo. Here we go.
Population shrinks by 98%. It's like you check leaderboards and there's 5 people on there.
Right.
So,
but it means it's a surefire way to make more money. Yeah. Those people that get banned and they want to play more, they got to buy another account. You can't fail.
That seems to be a hot topic lately. That's, it's always a hot topic,
sure.
But it seems like I'm getting this a lot more now than I have in the past couple seasons. Well, and I don't really understand why.
Is it the same people, or is it like, because I feel like every season, like, new people come to the game, or maybe people come back and revisit the game, and then they kind of get reinvigorated with, like, their love of Diablo, and then, the season progresses, and they're like, man, like, what is this? Like, people still do that? Like, I feel like people get, like, newly frustrated.
I do, yeah, there are a lot of new people, and they're like, man, I didn't realize that botting was a thing. And some of them, I've even had conversations about botting, and then people in chat were like, oh, man, I didn't even realize that was the thing. I thought, and he's like, oh, yeah, I can see 22 hours a day.
Right.
Damn. And then they're just like crushed,
right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's definitely a hot topic right now. Again, it seems like it goes in spurts, but
sure,
the last 3 or 4 days, it's just been constant. That's all I'm seeing.
We've all been through those spurts, right? Like, imagine like when you first found out about botting versus where you're at now. Like, we go through these phases of like, God damn it, I fucking hate bots, and like get to these phases of like, you know what? Like, there's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is.
Yep.
So it's like, it's tough. It's tough.
Yep.
So some people are hitting their peaks, and some people are like, whatever. Every season. But yeah, to continue, like he says those first 2 points, which make no sense whatsoever, and he comes back later on and says the following:
play models. Embedded in your question, though, was also the fact that we see competitors now on PC and console going free to play. And I just emphasize again that we believe our investment in resources, coupled with our strong IP, leaves us in a really good position to take advantage of evolving business models in our industry.
He just says our IPs allow us to take. It just makes no sense. He just puts a bunch of kind of big words together. If I was on the I don't know what these investors think, and they're not really allowed to come back and be like, no, you're wrong, which kind of sucks. They only get to ask a question and they peace out.
Right.
And they always come in and they're like, can you shed more color? I don't know why that's a thing. Did you notice that? Every
I didn't,
single
but
investor.
now that you say that,
Yeah, every
Yeah.
single investor comes on and it said, "Hey, can you shed more color? You can provide more color." That's like the one phrase every single person. I don't get it. I don't understand that either. And that
they definitely screen these calls because they have
Right.
like the narrator, the lady saying like, okay, this is such and such. What do you got to do to ask a question? That's my thing.
Right.
What do I got to do to get on there?
I mean, you got to be an investor.
So these guys
Yeah.
own stock. Like, how
Yeah.
much stock do I got to buy to ask a question?
I assume that these aren't even like the investors themselves. These are like the people that represent the investment firms. Like, because obviously the investors are like,
I want to
on a yacht
represent.
somewhere.
I'm figuring this
Yeah.
out. I want to ask questions.
Yeah, yeah. But actually, to speak of which, 4247, an investor representative or something, he comes in and he asks actually a kind of a hard hitting question, which I'll just let play out real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for taking my question. So with Overwatch League Season 2 launching soon, I just thought it made sense for an update on that franchise. It's been over 2 years since the game launched, and we've talked on prior calls and again on this call about the lower revenue levels. So I'm wondering what's the strategy to address this issue, and does Blizzard have the development capacity to deliver sufficient levels of new content into this franchise? Thank you.
So he basically points out like, okay, Overwatch, came out a couple of years ago. Kind of was like the lead game for Blizzard since it's come out, and it's obviously had a very steady decline. So like, what's the plan? Like, there's got to be a plan of attack to how we can get back on track with this game. Obviously, not asking anything about like, well, BRs are obviously taking over, blah blah blah. But he's just like, what can we do to get this back on track? And then I think Jay Wilson comes on again.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
This is Jay. I think it's important to mention the job the team has done with Overwatch.
And he basically just comes on and says, I think it's important to mention how good we've done with Overwatch. And he kind of like just ignores the question.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the heck? Oh my God. Because he goes on this 5-minute rant first. Like, I think it's important to like realize that we did such a good job on this game. I would just be like, shut up and answer my question.
Yeah. I think they invested so much money in Overwatch League, and Amazon invested a ton of money because Amazon owns Twitch, and Twitch does the Overwatch League thing. And we talked about this a little bit last week.
Sure.
Man, I think they lost a shit ton of money
I
in this Overwatch League, and I think they have to keep promoting it and praying that it does good. But I can't see how the numbers are ever going to be better than they were day one of the league. Like, every league season's going to go down, I would think, unless there's some new thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an answer because he's like, oh shit. Yeah, Overwatch has done so good.
Yeah, and he goes
guys.
on to talk about the league, but that's not like anything new. And he just. Yeah.
Did you watch any
Completely
Overwatch
different.
League?
Only when we sat at, BlizzCon. Yeah. I don't even know if that was Overwatch League or whatever, but
I don't know. That was a tournament thing. I don't know either. That's all I've seen too, is what we saw at BlizzCon, and it was cool live.
Sure.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah,
it was cool, but it's not like
I would
something
watch
that I'm into.
Yeah, people so this Twitch Rivals thing. I think the format sucks, but I would watch that if the format was good. Like, people competing against each other in a BR, like streamers competing against each other. I think that's a clever tournament. But I don't know. There's something about Overwatch. If you don't play the game at a somewhat serious level, it's really hard to understand what's going on. Whereas, like, you watch a BR and it really doesn't take anything to kind of follow what's going on.
It's like me watching soccer. Like,
Right.
I don't know what the hell's going on. They're like, you guy can't stay back by the goal. Why not?
Right.
It doesn't even make sense.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm with you. But
yeah, and then the other thing I thought was really interesting about this call, and I'm sure you heard it too when you listened, but like, they really kept driving home time and time again that this departure with Bungie was like mutual. We both felt that it was in our best interests, blah, blah, blah. They just, I don't know. And when people drive home points like that, it's like, oh, I broke up with my ex.
Mutual.
It was super mutual. Like, we talked about it. It was super
I
mutual.
think I think they pissed Bungie off. I think they had that quarter earnings call, and they said that Destiny franchise underperformed, and I think that genuinely pissed off some of the higher ups in Bungie, and they were like, "Well, we'll buy it back. That's fine." Like that was opportunity. And even in this call, they even said the negotiations or the conversation came up around November, which is right around the time that earnings call happened. They said they underperformed. And I think Bungie was happy to get out.
Sure.
Like there were cryptic tweets that some of the higher ups, like Kevin Smith was the game director of Taken King and Destiny 1. He oversaw Destiny 2 Vanilla, and now his new title was like Destiny IP executive producer, something important, right? And he tweeted out like, now we can shape our own destiny, which to me is like him saying they were fucking us,
right?
We're out,
right?
So
yeah, I don't know.
And there were reports. I don't know if it was Jason Schreier, but somebody reported that when the news was announced at Bungie Studios, they cheered.
Really?
Like people literally stood up and were like, "Yeah, woohoo!" and clapped and shit.
Damn.
That's pretty deep.
That is deep.
It's pretty deep.
That's indicating of the overlord of Activision, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just thought that interesting. It seems like anytime you drive home that something's mutual. It's usually not. Like, and I also like you got to be pissed off from an investor standpoint because like they obviously embezzle the truth a bit in these meetings and pump up like the excitement about this new COD game and like no one's being real at all, like being super corporate and bureaucratic. I would have such a hard time with that.
It's got to be hard to get on an earnings call and say we're not going to make money in 2019.
Sure, you can't,
because that's basically what they did the whole time. They're like, listen, we got mobile games coming, we got new COD, and that's really it. Like we don't have anything. And they said nothing new in 2019, and that specifically makes me think Diablo Immortal too. If Diablo Immortal isn't released before next BlizzCon,
right? Why
did you even announce it? Why did you hype Diablo for BlizzCon? Why did you demo it? I don't.
That's what we said day one. It's like this game is nowhere close to being done. Nowhere close. And why would they even show it to us as the biggest announcement at BlizzCon? That #1 spot. It's still to this day.
You think they had nothing? They had nothing that bad, or do you think that we scared them? The community scared them so much with the backlash that they're like, "Ooh, we got to really polish this turd before we send it out."
I honestly
we can't
think that they're so detached that they thought it would go over well. Activision thought it would go over well. That's what I think.
I don't know how, man. I don't know how, dude.
I don't know either.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we don't get it before next BlizzCon, I don't understand why they even announced it. They could have taken that out, and then you'd have a disappointing BlizzCon, but people wouldn't have been pissed, I don't think.
But I mean, you look at the WoW Classic, they announced that year before last, and it's still not going to be ready till this summer. So it's kind of
but they probably also announced expansions and
they announced
other things too. I don't know. They really had nothing at BlizzCon to talk about, really honestly. Yeah. So,
it still doesn't make sense to me because, like, Ash coming out on Overwatch was a way bigger announcement than Diablo Immortal.
That was the best thing at BlizzCon, in my opinion.
And the Warcraft remaster, way bigger announcement than Diablo Immortal. So just I still am a little bitter that I still feel like they did it to sell tickets.
It feels that way.
Yeah. But
I was hype and bought my ticket because I thought it was going to happen.
Right.
And that's my own fault. I mean, I can't be mad. I did it. I'm a big boy. I spent the money. But, so this Reddit post we're going to talk about is like, are you less interested in whatever's next? And after, this is related to the Diablo Immortal announcement, isn't it?
No, this is related to their layoffs. So they're saying, are you less interested in whatever's coming next for Diablo due to the circumstances of the recent layoffs and BlizzCon, actually?
I don't know, man. I mean,
honestly,
it doesn't make me less interested, but I'm not happy with the layoffs. You know what I mean? Like, listen, man, companies got to make money, and if you if you grow and grow and grow and grow, and eventually you're going to realize, you know what, like we have 15 people doing this job that we really only need 3 people to do. Like, and I think that's a lot of that happened, you know, like we've acquired these companies, we've merged, and we just didn't want to let go of anybody. So we kept all these people that are doing the same thing. And it's not a good business model. And I get that. But at the same time, that's a lot of people that are affected. And it sucks to be in those positions.
Right.
So
for me, if I'm being totally honest, because I've been there, man. I've been like laid off, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that definitely didn't. I'm sure there's people that deserve to be laid off, but I'm sure there's tons of people that didn't. And like I've been there, and it really, really sucks to like just, all of a sudden not have a job, and like you deserve to be there a lot more than probably other people do. Like it just sucks. And so I'm not gonna, like, it definitely, like I felt that this week. Like I was pretty pissed when they announced all the layoffs and stuff like that, because it's bullshit, especially when we examined last week that they're giving like signing bonuses of like 15 million to a new CFO that has really nothing to do, with anything.
yeah, has done nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
So-
that it's not gonna, nothing that Blizzard's gonna do, even as terrible as they could say. Blizzard like could keep continuing down this like going down the toilet route. It's not gonna make me like Diablo 3 less, which is unfortunate. But
Yeah.
like I still gonna love Diablo 3, and to me it's almost like Diablo 3 and Blizzard are almost separate entities at
Not
this
the
point.
same thing.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels like, and you got to separate that. Like, to me, the Diablo 3 team is a different team of people than these guys that are calling the shots and firing all
Right.
these people, But yeah, I agree with you, man. I don't, if I'm being honest, I'm still going to be excited for Diablo 4,
sure,
regardless.
yeah, no matter.
Does it suck? Yeah, man. Dude,
Yeah.
was Blizzard, so if somebody would have asked me 2 years ago, right? If they would have said, you can go work for any game company in the world, who do you want to work for? I would have picked Blizzard, hands down.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh, Blizzard, because they got WoW. I love WoW. They got Diablo. I love Diablo. I like Overwatch. I'm like, it doesn't matter where I end up, I'm going to love
Right.
the IP. And I don't think I would say that now.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know the answer to that,
Right. I mean,
Your
yeah.
answer is Blizzard because, you're going to be a dev on this new Diablo project. So
How about, what do you think is the probability that they gave me a call last week?
0.
Yeah, you would be correct. I did not receive a
Absolutely not.
phone call.
They're still collecting applications,
Sure,
though, man.
sure,
You're gonna get a call.
Yeah, I haven't
You're gonna
gotten the
get a
email
call,
that
man.
said after
Listen,
careful consideration,
Blizzard. Okay.
we don't want it. But
I'm gonna help your cause. Okay, so Blizzard people that are listening right now, if
Yeah.
you hire Fluff, once you hire him, you can shut him up. He can't
shut them up.
say anything negative ever. He can't say anything negative ever again.
Wow.
Like he's done. He's
Wow.
done. You effectively are like
The
all right,
podcast
you
can
work
be
for
real
us
boring.
now. You're gonna you can't. I'd have to find any co-host. Like
Yeah.
you could just one fell swoop with the pen.
Yeah.
Like you're signed. You're hired.
Yeah.
Boom. Done.
Day one of the new Metabolic podcast post Fluff working at BlizzCon. All I can say is multiple. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Just the word
Multiple.
multiple.
It'll
That's all
be
they allowed me
like
to
10
say.
years before we can talk
Multiple.
about what actually happened.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
Fluff, what's going on at Blizzard right now? Multiple. That's all I can say.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, listen, whoever's out there, you want to shut this guy up, man.
Wow. Wow.
Oh,
You're
man.
toxic,
No, but in all seriousness, I really do hope that they at least give you a call.
Yeah.
And look at your resume. You know,
Me too. I think we all do. Deep down.
deep down. Make
But yeah.
Diablo great again.
Next.
So,
This was interesting. I don't know if you had time to see
I did
this.
see this. Yeah.
This guy, I don't know what he did, but he just makes, so you guys can't see, he's just caused like 2 Lacuni slashers to, they're almost like dancing, like a synchronized
They're dancing, yeah.
dance. And like
They're just
I don't
broken.
know
They're just
how.
looped.
Yeah. but I thought that was pretty funny. I don't know. Or you don't see a lot of videos.
Have
like
you
that
had this
anymore.
happen?
No, never.
I had a Rift Guardian. I hit a Rift Guardian so hard I broke them the other day. Like, you know how if you hit blue goblins really hard, you can break them to where they don't drop loot?
No, I didn't. I've never seen that.
I did that to a Rift Guardian, and no loot ever dropped, and the Rift wouldn't finish. No time limit.
Really?
Just gone.
Never seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That's the first time I've ever seen it either. It's interesting.
Weird. Oh, new bugs.
New bugs.
And then I saw this post, which I also found to be interesting. The post says, "When does the fun die for you? And when do you stop playing every season?" And this guy goes on to say, basically, after multiple days of not getting an upgrade, or getting to the point of like you just don't need anything else, that's when they lose interest.
Mm-hmm.
Which I find interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good time too. I think once your upgrade becomes Paragon,
yeah,
then it really gets stale for me.
Sure.
Because it's like, okay, I can augment like my last 2 or 3 pieces, and that's it. I'm ancient, itemized in most every slot, and now I just need primals and Paragon. At that point, it's just okay. Let's grind.
Right.
That's when the real grind starts, and that's kind of for me. That's a good tuning out point. So I'm with them.
Yeah, it's like so PoE. Like you kind of get to that point too. I mean, PoE doesn't even have Paragon, so at the very least in Diablo, like you're grinding your face off, you're getting power no matter what, which I think is a positive thing. But there's something to be said of like PoE, you're grinding currency basically, and while you might not be getting the upgrades from drops, like you're grinding currency and eventually be able to maybe like do a high-end craft for something really good for your character. Whereas like Diablo, you get tons of mats, but you know, you're just kind of randomly upgrading stuff in the cube or whatever, and there's no real skill, I guess, to getting a really well-rolled end-game item that's going to be like perfect for your build.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty big difference in what PoE does really well. Is that
And so the skill-based portion of getting those items in PoE is it skill-based or it's luck-based?
I mean, there's still luck to it, but like if you know what you're doing, like you're gonna get, if you continue to grind mats, you're gonna get, like if you build up a certain amount or whatever you think you need to roll an item well, like you're gonna get something eventually. You're gonna get something that's gonna be usable. It's gonna be an upgrade, probably, or something you can sell for a lot of currency.
Is that relatable to like grinding bounties and re-rolling an item? Like eventually you're gonna re-roll it. Primal.
Yeah, but it's probably a bit more skill based because when you re-roll something in Diablo, it's like, you know, it's complete RNG. Like it's completely re-rolled from like square one.
Yeah.
Whereas in PoE, you can kind of like focus craft, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. I'm with
And
you.
I think that has a lot more, like when you're just grinding at the point where you have everything you need and you're just grinding currency, like then I think that's
I
the
think
big difference.
consumables are the big easiest fix for Diablo.
For sure.
I think adding, because consumables do so many things. They, one, are consumed when you use them, so you need to get more of them. And you can control them with a drop rate that's easily tunable in the game. And then those consumables could allow you to reroll primals and keep them primal. They could allow you to socket jewelry. They could allow you... There's so many infinite things they could do with these consumables, like the Ralamandi gifts or whatever that you want to call them. They could add more cubes or more items like that and then completely control those drop rates. And it would give you more things to chase like primals that would make you excited. So like the thing with primals is 90% of the time when you get a primal, you're disappointed.
Right.
Like you see the primal and you're like, oh shit, it's a primal. And then you pick it up or you see it on the ground and you can identify it instantly. You're like, oh man, it's a whatever, you know, it's my 5th nail biter of the season. This sucks. I hate primals. And you're pissed off.
Right.
Then, you know,
and there's nothing you can do about it. Because like
there's
you just
nothing
saw
you can do.
The best item you could possibly get, it just rolled the worst. And like there's
Correct.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You can't take it and do anything.
Nothing you can do. And so
that's
now
a big difference, right?
It kills your morale instead of boosting it like it should. So, but if they had a primal reroll item, then when you get that, there's no way you're not excited.
Right.
There's no way. Like you're going to get that and you're going to go, oh shit. Even if you don't have the primal to re-roll, you're going to be like, oh, hell yeah, I got this. Now I'm set. I got it.
Right.
And I think that those things would go a long way, even if the drop rate was low, like super low.
Right.
It would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be
So-
awesome.
And especially if there were multiple items like that. If you had
Mm-hmm.
a necklace socket and then a reroll socket for primal and then added primal dust in the game, those 3 changes, even just primal dust and primal reroll cubes, those 2 items alone make any primal you get worthwhile, and the primal cube anytime you get it is an awesome thing.
Right.
So that would make you.
Yeah. I think that consumables and ways to like time grind, time dump in this game are obviously, it will be a huge hit. And also like I think what PoE does where you're organically, as you're just doing like the normal routine, like say you're grinding greater rifts, you're getting currency to do other things that like are also fun to do, like in PoE. Like you just organically, as you're continuing the grind, you're getting currency to go do other stuff in the game. Not just item currency, but like currency to do like other types of games like within the game.
Game modes.
Really, you're right.
Yeah, I don't. So let's
Content.
real quick have a conversation about greater rift keys, because that's an item. Like you do Nephilim rifts to get a greater rift key to do a greater rift.
Right.
I personally don't like that.
Really?
I understand why it's there, and I don't think you could remove it, because then you would never do Nephilim rifts. Really?
Besides
I guess
Death
you could
Breath,
farm
right.
Death's Breath, you know? But personally, though, it's like, oh, I'm always out of keys. It just feels like, oh, I'm always out of keys. I got to go get keys, got to get keys.
Yeah.
So what's your thought? You like them? Do you like grinding the keys?
I mean, without T13, without Death Breath farming, you're really just doing the same thing nonstop. I mean, you're either grouping or soloing within a GR, I guess, if they got rid of Nephilim rifts, which I don't love. I think the thing I like about T13 is it does break up the monotony of just GR grinding. Like you can play whatever you want.
It's so
for like
easy.
10 minutes.
Yeah, you
Right.
can like close your eyes and complete
Right.
T13s.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm with you on that. I don't know. I don't have a better system. I haven't put enough thought into it yet, but it does feel crappy to always be out of keys, but I think it's a good evil. You have to have it.
Right.
So, and then what if they added? You know, again, we're talking about consumables. Like they should give ancient and primal keys. You know, have a primal key that lets you. Say from the time you get it for 24 hours, you can open as many greater rifts as you want.
Right.
You know, like it's a primal key, or put charges on it if you want. I think it'd be cool to have a time slot of infinite for so long and then it blows up. But do it, man.
Or like a primal key could be like the map of your choice. Maybe.
Oh, baby.
Who knows?
Baby. That would be, man, that puts so much pressure on that one key.
Right.
You'd be like, okay, I'm saving it.
Yeah.
And then you'd pop it and you'd be like, oh my God, I got tongue lashers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep. Done. So.
Yeah. But, you know.
What else we got? What else we got on here?
But when we were talking about PoE a lot. So maybe we should talk about what's going on.
Yeah, we could
there
segment
real
into that a
quick.
little bit. I honestly haven't kept up to date with this. I know it dropped yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
So
let's just watch the trailer. I mean, well, we shouldn't watch the trailer. So basically they're coming out with, they just announced kind of like their new league, which is Synthesis. It's a hard word to
Synthesis.
say. Which I guess if I had to compare it to something, it'd be like if you're doing a rift and you had a time limit, and if you didn't meet it, like you would die, or like the rift would consume you or something. Like the rift shrinking in on you is what it sounds like.
So if you fail it, you die.
Yeah.
So there's so if you're hardcore, then game over.
Right. It's kind of like the Delve's the same way. Like Delve, you try to like go to darker areas of the map, and if you like don't have any torches or whatever to throw it out, you just die. So they do a lot of stuff that like you die, which for softcore doesn't matter. But I mean, it does matter because you lose XP. But hardcore, it's crazy. Yeah. But log out macro, so whatever. But I guess also within this is like this new synthesis, so you can like more in-game crafting, which goddamn lucky bastards, more content. But basically, you can take items that like you like or maybe are good but not necessarily good for your character, and you combine them to maybe make something that's good for your character, which is.
Are these going to be whole new items? Are these going to be like items that are already in the game? They just give you a way to make things that you might want.
I think
or
these
is
are
it like all new shit.
I think these are all new types of items. These are like they have to be
Goddamn.
synthesizable items, and they also are coming out with. I don't know. You don't know what this means per se, but like they're gonna have items that have like locked in implicits, which so basically you can roll 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes on an item, and now they're gonna have like maybe 2 of those prefixes locked in, which you could do before with like a really super fucking rare expensive item, and it just never happened, which was kind of unfortunate because like PoE has this like great end game crafting, but you can never really do it because you just don't have enough currency unless you're just hardcore. But now they're gonna have
buy that currency.
You can, not with like their official in-game store, but you know the unofficial, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. Okay.
But yeah, so now they're gonna have it. You can have a chance to like lock those in, and so like the all those recipes where you can like kind of reforge or re-roll an item become infinitely better, and this makes it like way better for especially like solo self-found. Like for me, really the only way to play PoE is SSF because I hate the economy, and so like that's a huge change for SSF because you can reforge and have a much higher chance if you get just like good rolls default, like because those are locked in. So every single time you reforge the item, it'll be like you keep 10% damage, 10% CDR, and you reforge everything else, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
Interesting.
So it seems good. You know, more. It seems like
so that's the thing. It's got a shrinking rift mechanic that looks like a circle bubble from Fortnite, and new crafting.
And you look at this. So you like pick, like you're trying to reach these. I guess these areas of yellow, and like maybe you start here or something, and you have to like pick a route. I don't really. And every like map does something. Everything does something. Like it's like a rift key, and it has particular affixes on it, and you like go that way or something.
I can't deny, man. I am super jealous of PoE's content. It's like, it's like, I don't know. I fight playing this game, and it's like one of those things where it's like, fuck, man, I need to play this shit.
You do.
I really do.
Yeah.
And it's like every 2 or 3 months. And then the coolest thing I think is GGG is like, hey guys, check this out. Oh, by the way, 2 weeks.
Right.
It's
March
not
8th.
It's not like they're like synthesis is coming in like, October. It's like March. It's 2 weeks from now, guys.
Yeah. It's insane. Then we just got
crazy.
What was it? Betrayal. And what was that? Like November, December? Like, and that was like
not that long ago.
Of content. Heap of content. And now they're getting it. It's just crazy. If you're a PoE fan,
can they just make it look better? Can they just like can they just like can they steal Diablo skins?
I've heard rumors that like they don't want to come out with PoE 2, and so that there are plans in the works to make it like a big graphical update to it. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
If they do it, I'm down.
Right. A lot of people just can't get over the graphics.
And it's the funny thing is it doesn't look that bad. It just looks off. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know, man.
I'm with you, man.
I don't know, dude. Yep. But I gotta stop. I gotta stop hating on it because the amount of content makes me drool a little bit, and I'm really jealous of PoE.
Imagine any game though, like nothing. No, I don't feel like there's a lot of games out there that can even try to keep up with PoE's content.
No, their
content. Like look at Destiny doesn't get this crazy. Like Destiny gets content, but not even close.
It's not like this,
right?
Yeah, it's not even on the same level.
I mean,
this is a whole new end game,
honestly.
So like ever since Delve came out, right?
Yeah.
Was that the latest? That's the no. What's the latest
one?
Betrayal. Ever since Betrayal came out, like that's all you do, right, in the game, right? That's their end game. Or
no,
do you still go back and do
absorb all the stuff that happened before it.
So they're just adding more end game content, and you're going to play all of the end game.
Right.
So now you're going to have like 7 in game activities to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where it's good because like I said, like you're grinding greater risk, for example, and you're getting currency to do the other stuff, and it's like shit, I'm about to cap on this, so I have to go do some of that, and then like as you're doing that, you get some of this, and you're like shit, I gotta like keep up with that, and then then finally, once you're all like caught up, you can finally just go back to normally like, and it feels good. Like you're like, shit, fuck. You know, I finally got all that stuff done, now I can go back to
somebody
this
that's a
grind,
casual player, can
Sure.
they play this game and keep up? You think somebody that
well,
puts
that's the thing is like that's what we
5
talk
hours
about.
a week?
There's no keeping up. Like we have to break our mold of Diablo, right? Diablo, it's like this
Yeah.
race. It's like you're not going to be able to keep up with the end game push against people that can play more than you, right? Whereas PoE, that's not
Right.
like PoE's item progression, and you can compete and delve, but it's not like Diablo at all. So it's like there's
Right.
this not. I don't feel like there's this concern in the back of your head to like keep up.
So
like
you think
there is
it's
with
more of a relaxed, play at your own pace style then?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's not casual. It's not casual because the learning curve is fucking massive, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have that same competitive aspect to it that Diablo does, where you have to be grinding all of your time, and if you don't, like you almost like me this season, like I couldn't play near as much as I wanted to, and it feels bad because I'm not going to be able to compete in the end, like at the end of the season. Like I'm just not. Like I 1100 Paragon right now. Like it's a joke. So
Yeah, I'm feeling that too, and like I'm playing 4 hours a day, and it's like 4 hours a day to most people. That's a shitload of Diablo,
Right.
and then I'm probably playing like six to seven on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing a lot of Diablo, but I look at people and I'm like, I don't know if they're botting. I don't know if they just don't have jobs. I don't know what's going on. But you see people that are averaging like 15 to 20 hours, and it's like, yeah, I can't push against that. They got 2,700 Paragon. I got 1,400 Paragon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not.
And that's
So,
fine but that's the problem. That's the essential, at the core of the problem of Diablo. It's like, if that guy's legit, good for fucking him. I don't feel bad losing to that guy. Like he deserved it.
Yeah.
It's just the problem.
Yeah.
It's like we don't know. We
don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah. And we have a mindset now of guilty
Right.
until proven
Right.
innocent instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
And it definitely feels bad, man.
Yeah.
It does. It does suck. Because I would want those guys that legitimately do it to get their recognition. I would
they
like to
deserve
be
it.
like, that's
Yeah.
a badass dude right there, man. Look at
Absolutely.
that, But instead, you're like, oh, he's a filthy cheater.
Sure.
And he may not be.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Unless like
Probably
there's
is,
just no,
though.
it's stupid because like right, but I could like say next season I go 20 hours a day, but I mean I stream all of it. Like that's the only way you could do it. I feel like it's if you'd have
that's
to
the only
stream
way.
the entire season to like
Right.
be proved.
Yep.
And that would be just that's a lot. That's a lot. Can you imagine going 20
Let's-
hours a day for like 3 months streaming it as well?
No, see, and that's the thing. Like, even if you ignored your stream, let's just say you turned your
Sure.
stream on,
Yeah.
just for evidence, right?
But your camera would have to be on and everything because otherwise it's like, are you really there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Are you really playing? Like 20 hours a day? I can't do anything 20 hours a day. Could you function on? And let's be real. Some of these guys are 22 hours a day.
Yeah.
Which, fuck that.
Right.
I don't care who you are.
Right.
You're not sleeping 2 hours a day for a month. You're not doing it. I function on like 5 to 6 hours, and then eventually I'll crash after a week or two.
Sure.
I'm like, I can't. And a Saturday I'll sleep like 14 hours.
But if you
know what I
didn't
mean?
have a job, what do you think you would do a day? If
and feel like a human still,
right, yeah.
like, and not want to like die. I don't know.
Probably at least 10.
7 to 8 would be like a lot. 10 would be like, I'm really gonna feel like a scumbag, I think.
I mean, that still gives you.
It's different. It's different to me because I have a wife and kids.
Sure.
So to me, if I played
Yeah,
10 hours
yeah,
a day,
okay.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
I would
fair.
be ignoring them so
Right.
much. But let's just say I went back and I'm 18 years old living
Sure.
at mom's house
Yeah.
in the basement, and it's summertime. I don't have a job. 12 hours.
Yeah.
You could do
Okay.
12
Yeah.
hours and you'd be okay.
Right, and that's to give
15
you like
hours,
4 hours
like,
of your own time,
maybe.
a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, 12 hours, you're going to sleep 6 hours a night. So that's 18. And then,
Sure.
you got your extra 4 to 6 hours of,
Right.
okay, I got to like take a shower and
Yeah.
maybe go to the grocery store and, you got to get on Snapchat and Tinder
Yeah.
a little bit. You know what I
It's
mean? Like,
that's why it's so hard to imagine these guys, even over like 15. Like,
yeah.
you're just a machine, or you just. I don't get it. How do you do it?
And I think I don't know if we've had this talk on the podcast. I know we've had the talk before, but at 18 plus hours, like nobody's going to support that. Like your girlfriend's going to leave you. Like who's going to stay with somebody that plays Diablo? It's not like it's fucking Diablo. It's not like it's even a game that you're going to like, I'm going to go compete in a tournament and this is going to be my future income. Like I'm practicing, baby. It's like, no, it's like you're pushing for a leaderboard that nobody's even going to really remember you next season. You know, like who got rank 1 in season 9 in all the classes? We don't know. You know, you don't know. Some people might know, but I don't know. 20 hours, she's gonna leave you, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy.
Somebody's gonna be doing some loving and it ain't you. You know what I mean? You're playing Diablo.
Yeah. It's just insane to think about, honestly. Because we've done it. Like early season, like when the hype's up, especially after a big round of like new changes for the game. Yeah, you can do like
for a
10,
week,
15-hour
sure.
days for like a week, 2 weeks. But like
2
3
weeks,
months? No way, man.
No way. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's been a big thing lately is all the bot talk, man. It's been crazy. So
yeah.
What else, man? I think we can hit up some Twitter questions.
Yeah,
You ready for some Twitter questions?
That last thing for next week. They'll be fine. We're going pre-over. Like we do.
Yeah, normally.
Yeah.
The first question. So this is the Twitter question section. If you guys want to ask questions, you can do it. You can tweet at me, at ThaPChild, at Lord Fluffy, at Lord__Fluffy. You can join our Discords. That's honestly the best spot to leave us some messages there. We each have a New Meta podcast section. You can drop them right there. But the first question comes from Snuff. And Snuff says, would you like to see them combine the Royal Ring buff and double bounty mats at the same time?
I mean,
not really.
We kind of talked about this before. More bounty mats, I think, would be nice. At this point,
I definitely miss the bounty mats. Like
we just done them.
But I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's a cool mechanic.
It's not
it
a
was
cool
just
mechanic.
a convenience.
Yeah, it's just
it
we
was
don't
like,
have to run as many bounties, which was nice.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's like to me, it's like bounty should be like, oh man, I've got so many Forgotten Souls right now. Like, I should do some bounties and we can reforge instead of like I gotta grind bounties for like 5 hours to keep up with the Forgotten Souls I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that doesn't feel good.
I do miss it, but I don't really care if it comes back because it's I want cool things.
Right.
You know? Yeah. The Royal Ring buff I think was successful.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun with it. If they do keep the season to 2 months, I think it puts urgency on playing the builds that are powerful for that seasonal theme. And that's what we want. We want the urgency to be there because that's what makes you want to play the game. So
right.
Demonic Chris says, would you like season Elan or a balance pass on legendaries? I think he's saying for next season. Would we prefer to have a season of LAN or a balance pass? Balance pass 100% to me.
What is season of LAN? Will we get the rings for free?
I personally think that next season's going to be season of LAN. I think it's going to give you the LAN buff without having the rings on. So you're going to get 2 extra ring slots with LAN, especially with LAN just getting juiced up. I think
should have saved the buff for next season. It's so silly.
They should have. Yeah, they really should have. It would have been. It would have been great.
Right.
But I really, that's my guess, man. If somebody was like, what are you going to think we're going to get next season? It's got to be LAN.
Right.
So.
Sure. I can see that.
And I think that's cool, man. Season of LAN sounds really fun to me. Because just think about even at the start of the season, like you're going to hit 70 and you're going to start doing your gifts, your seasonal journey. But let's say you get an ancient, whatever. If you throw it on, boom, you got 750% extra damage.
Right.
You get a second one, you throw it on, So you could just throw on hodgepodge ancients.
Yeah.
And boom, your damage is going up. And it's going to help you complete those gift sets or, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
We talked about on stream, we took a vote between, what would you think? A season of COE, which I know neither of us are really looking forward to, or would you rather have a season of Ingium?
Ingium, for sure.
Yeah. Because I think that would be okay. I mean, it wouldn't be the best.
Every class could benefit from that for the most part. I mean, there's a couple that wouldn't.
Yeah.
Movement speed would be out of this world.
Sure.
With that.
Right.
I mean, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. It would
Um,
it would kind of affect the push. I don't think it would be like anything crazy out of this world, but it'd be interesting.
it would
More
be cool to
cooldown.
see.
Everyone likes cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, like Talrasha Meteor Wiz is like one of the few classes I can see that like doesn't benefit too much from it, but they're gonna get their teleport back up really, really fast. So
Should be nice.
you know,
Yeah.
that's cool. Screw COE, man.
Yeah.
I know, like, take it out of the game for all I care. Like, I'm so sick of that ring, and it was such a cool mechanic when it came out, and I'm not
'cause it's
hating on it in
different.
that aspect.
Yeah.
But it's like we've been forced to use COE for 2-3 years now. Like every build has COE, every single build. I want it to be out of the game. I don't even care if it's a power, anti-power creep or whatever. Like just take it out, please.
Right.
Let's see, where are we at? Huggy says, what about all of these spell runes we don't use, like sweeping wind, cyclone, phalanx, satyr, because they aren't as strong as everything else? What do you reckon would change those spells better and make more builds? So I guess he's saying like there's a bunch of runes that are garbage for the most part.
I think that's tough because, I mean, obviously one route that they could go, you could make something that's really good for speed. You can make something that's really good for single target damage. You can make something that's really good for AoE. But in the current state of Diablo, there's really not much wiggle room. Like to make all the runes relevant, I don't even know if that would be possible.
It seems to me like they try to give every ability, every element too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you take this rune, it's lightning. You take this rune, it's cold, it's fire.
Right.
Like, I personally feel like they should kind of go away from that
I
a little
agree.
bit.
Yeah.
Like they should focus the abilities on the element.
Yeah, you
like,
should be able to do whatever you want. Like if that rune sounds cool, you should be able to use it. Like, oh no, I can't use it because it's lightning. Like that's
'cause it's fire.
silly. Right.
Yeah, the abilities should be what they are.
Right.
A skill is lightning, a skill is cold, and then the runes affect the skill, but the skill is still cold.
I would almost say get rid of elements altogether, man.
Yeah. I don't think we should get rid of them and just make them cool. Like they have no purpose right now other than COE.
Right.
Like really? Like if you took COE out of the game, do you care what element you're using? For the most part, not really. It just affects the way your ability looks.
More damage. Yeah. Because you still have like bracers and necklace. So
yeah, I mean you got to line your elements up, but I'm saying like it's it's just a damage modifier that's hidden.
It's
It's
the color
not
of
like
the
one's
skill,
cool.
right? So I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I want to see them removed, but I would like to see them more focused. Like barbarians shouldn't be doing cold and damage. Like they should be physical more based. Like I guess it kind of is. I don't know, man. They definitely could use some work.
Yeah,
on
they
it.
could use some squish
you know
on
what?
that too. Because like Necro's only having 3 elements is so much more powerful than other classes like that have to go through 4 or
Right.
5. It's ridiculous.
And the it's just crazy. Like there's a whole bunch of things I think that they could do with that, but we'll save that discussion for another day. But yeah, the runes, I don't know a way to make it. They need to go through and prune. Like I don't think every skill needs to have how many runes do we have on
5.
a skill? 6 or something? 5 or 6? Yeah, it's a lot. So prune some down. Even. Maester Magus says, would double weapon slot or being able to wear and cube the same power be more broken? Like wear COE and cube COE for 2 times the power.
Double up.
See what he's saying. Yeah, so adding an extra weapon to the cube or to be able to double down.
Double down. For sure.
Yeah, 2 COEs would be ridiculous, and that's what you would do. There's nothing else. I mean, maybe could you double down on Royal Ring?
You double down on like Crisby, you double down. I mean, you double down a lot. Like nothing would be more powerful than maybe like doubling down on like a weapon. Because like look at like maybe multi-shot, you double down on like Yangs or something. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Doubling down on Royal Ring would let you take off 2 slots.
I guess. But still it wouldn't work for the 2 sets, you know what I mean? So
yeah, but you could put on maybe a 3-piece. It could be like Natalia's Marauders, fucking Impale. I don't know what you could do. You know, you'd have some 3-3-3.
Yeah.
Something. So
could be interesting.
I don't know. Onion says, if Jugs dropped 6 globes instead of 3, would it make them worth doing?
It would make it more worthwhile, that's for sure. But eventually going to hit a point
think about it.
in a high GR. You're still going to have to skip them. It's still not going to
Yeah.
be worth your time. But it would definitely be better, honestly.
Yeah. I think they should, honestly, but
Yeah. Or
I think they
take
should
them
just
out.
be taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think they should be taken out of the game.
I'd rather see
Like,
them
let's
taken
have a serious conversation
Right,
about this.
right.
Like, in all seriousness, hatred aside, I still think they should be taken out of the game
Absolutely.
for balance. I think they're ridiculous, and that not only just my dislike for them, but I think it's a waste of an elite pack. It's
Sure.
like, oh, there's a jug, I have to skip it. Like, there's no choice. It's not a debate.
Right.
If you're pushing, you're
Skip.
skipping it.
It's the worst. That's just not, it's just such an unfun mechanic to have to skip content because of an affix. I mean, Diablo 2 was like that, where you'd like get immune to blank, and that's how Diablo 2 was. But Diablo 3 is not that way. But Juggernaut makes it so, and it's the only thing that you really do have to skip. I mean, depending on your build, like you might have to skip like a 5-pack blue or whatever. But
A 5-pack blue or a minion arcane poison.
Right.
Like, it's not fun to fight, but you can if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So,
Whereas Juggernaut,
but Jug is just like,
skip. Like there's just no way around it.
pop that pylon up, Jug.
Yeah.
Well, let's go.
Damn it.
Yeah. Dirty says, have you ever sent a text message to the wrong person? If so, what was it about? I was on the receiving end of a text message to the wrong person.
I'm not sure if
I'll tell my story while you think about this.
Okay,
So
go
listen to
ahead.
this. This was a long time ago. This was back when I was bachelor padding it up.
Oh shit.
And I went on a date. And I went on a couple dates with this girl. And she kind of like blew me off a little bit. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's cool. So one day out of the blue, she texts me, and she even said my name in the text. And she's, basically like, what up? Like,
Sure.
what you doing? And it was like a booty call text, kind of is what it felt like, And I'm like, oh, snap. And then I messaged her back, and she's like, oh, sorry, wrong Eric. And I was like,
Shit.
oh my God.
Feels
I was like, all right.
man.
Yeah, feels bad, man.
You should
So
be like,
not
what about this,
only-
Eric?
You're right. I was like, hey, hold up now. So yeah, I thought I was getting booty called, and
Yeah. I mean, I remember,
Wasn't-
I can't remember the context, but I remember like after I'd broken up with one of my girlfriends, I had sent her a text that I sent a different girl. And I remember that being very bad. I don't remember what was said, but I was like,
oh, you
damn,
remember.
I'm really sorry.
You remember.
I really don't. But I just remember being like, fuck. When your heart drops, like when something really bad
Yeah.
happens, like hitting
You're
that
like,
send, you're like, oh, fuck.
Oh shit. Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. It's funny too, because like we were in Ecuador, and Lindsay's mom was sending like Facebook messages to one of my friends because she couldn't get a hold of Lindsay. It's like when we first started dating, and her mom was just like overly protective. I don't even know what the word is, but
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Well, I shouldn't send that," and so she deleted them, like thinking that that would delete it, like the send of the message.
She deleted them from her Facebook
You're
friends.
right. She deleted the messages, thinking that like, if I delete them, he's not going to see them. But then
I've had my boss send things before and be like, oh, can I recall that email? And I'm like, well, yeah, technically it's possible, but they have to be also on an Exchange server, and it's still going to be a trace, and they still probably could have seen it.
Right.
And I'm like, what did you send? And he's like, I accidentally sent them some commission information that they shouldn't have access to. And I'm like, God damn. That happens all the time.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, that was my text message story. It was, it's funny because I haven't thought about that since this question probably, but instantly as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my God. I don't know if I've sent one though. I don't think I'm sure I have, but
Yeah.
nothing super crazy.
I think it's happened both ways for me. I just obviously wasn't that impactful.
And that's it, man. That's all the questions we have tonight.
Easy.
So thanks for the questions, guys. Thanks for tuning in to episode 40. We'll be back next Tuesday. If you guys are listening and you want to catch us live Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Lord_Fluffy.
Yeah, every Tuesday.
You can catch more of me. I am ThaPChild at Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere at ThaPChild. And I'll be live right after the podcast.
Yeah. I'm Lord_Fluffy, double those underscores on the Twitters. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Cool. Peace.